Meantime, President Trump is doubling down on his comments in the wake of the deadly London terror attack, tweeting, "That's right, we need a travel ban for certain dangerous countries, not some politically correct term that won't help us protect our people." Is he right? Will a travel ban help protect Americans from future attacks? Joining me right now is Act for America founder and They Must Be Stopped author, Brigitte Gabriel. Good to have you here. Brigitte, tell me, is the travel ban enough? Is it going to make a difference?
That we need the travel ban. We need to secure the country. There is no reason, Trish, why we need to welcome people from Libya, for example. You look at these countries. Libya doesn't even have a government. Remember, we can't even have an embassy in Libya. We can't even put our own personnel in Libya because of how dangerous it is. How on earth are we going to monitor anybody coming from Libya? And yet, why on earth would we want to allow anybody from Libya to enter the United States?
Yet I had a guest on the show the other day, a proponent of the left, saying, look, you should be able to come here from Iran or from Iraq or from Libya, and it's unconstitutional, he said, for us not to allow them here. What do you say?
The Constitution is for us American citizens and to protect American citizens. Nothing in the Constitution says we need to import criminals into our country, and terrorists in particular, those who want to commit mass murder or who may commit mass murder, to come to the United States paid for by our tax dollars. There is nothing in the Constitution that supports this. Listen, we are at war and we need to do everything we can to protect the country. And what he's talking about is only for 90 days. He's not saying, okay, we want to stop immigration or Islamic ban on all Muslim countries. Look how he's working with the Saudis. Look how he's working with the Islamic countries, the summit that he held with 50 Muslim leaders in Saudi Arabia. They're not complaining. They don't have a problem with what he wants to do with the travel ban. This is why we need to get behind our president and make sure that as people, we send a message to our government and especially to these judges, support the president, do what he was elected for, and that is to protect the country.
Brigitte, Theresa May has made the point that we need to have some difficult and, quote, sometimes embarrassing conversations right now. There are a lot of people here, also in Europe, who do not want to face a reality that we must face. Explain to us how that's influencing the ability to say something as simple and enact something as simple as a travel ban.
Notice how she kind of beat around the bush a little bit. We have a problem with Islamic radicalization. We have a problem with Islamic terrorism. Not all Muslims are bad. The majority of them are peace-loving people who do not want to kill people. But they are irrelevant because the radicals are driving the agenda. It is the radicals that kill. It is the radicals that commit terrorist attacks en masse. Look what we're watching today. Look what's happening at the Notre Dame in Paris this morning. Look what happened in London over the weekend, in Manchester last week. It's one thing after another. We need to have that difficult conversation. It's not embarrassing to us, but it is a difficult conversation to say, what does Islam as a political ideology has to do with what the terrorists are doing right now? This is not painting with a broad brush about all Muslims. We're talking about Sharia and the fundamental law that these radicals are basing their ideology on that gives them justification to kill en masse innocent civilians. That's the conversation the West needs to have. And by the way, we at Act for America, we are holding national rallies this Saturday in 29 cities in 21 states, educating about Sharia. The rally is called March Against Sharia, March for Human Rights, to educate people about what we are up against.
One of the things you hear from members of the left is, well, you can't put forward a travel ban like this because it is discriminatory, that it is effectively the religion that you're going after. You make a very valid point here. He didn't put every Muslim country in there, so I don't know how you come up with this being somehow a Muslim ban. Otherwise, it would involve a lot more countries, would it not?
Oh, right, exactly. And when you take Syria, for example, this is not a Muslim ban, because when he put the ban on all these countries, he did not say, okay, Christians from Yemen can come here, but Muslims cannot. Christians from Syria can come here, but Muslims cannot. When you look at Syria and the Middle East in general, it is the Christians who are being persecuted much more than the Muslims. Yet in the travel ban, Christians cannot even come here, even if they are Syrian Christians and they are persecuted minority.
Brigitte, we just have a few seconds left, but one of the things that I have always found troubling about Islam, frankly, is its treatment of women, and it's bothered me from the time I was a young girl and first learned of this. I do not know how we, as a Western culture that promotes women, can be so accepting of a religion that wants to suppress all that we celebrate. Your final thoughts on that before we take a break.
Exactly. A woman's value in Islam is half of that of a man. When you look at the Islamic practices that we are now importing to America, female genital mutilation, over 513,000 girls in America today are under threat of female genital mutilation or has undergone the procedure. When you look at honor killing, between 23 to 26 crimes, honor killings per year are committed in the United States. We are better as a nation. We are better. Our American
and we should
girls
be better
deserve
as women.
better, whether they are
as
Muslims
women,
or not.
We also need to stick up for what's right, and this is not. Brigitte, thank you so much. We are waiting, everyone, on Sean Spicer. He's coming up next. I'll see you right back here in 2.